Hello, high schoolers, and welcome to another week of youth group, small groups. Hopefully you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we're glad that you've come back to join us for this week. I'm not going to go over the announcements. Hopefully your leaders have gone over the announcements with you. If they haven't yet, you can pause the video right now. Okay, anyway, welcome back. We're glad you're here. Hopefully you've got all those announcements. Hopefully you've also spent some time in prayer. As we meet tonight, actually, by the time you watch this video, they're probably done, but there have been people at church that have been praying about a pretty significant thing that's happening in Mississippi, and I asked your leaders if they could make sure and have you guys pray for it as well. So if you haven't done that, you can do that maybe at the end of the night too. That's fine. I just think it's a significant thing on abortion that we really should be looking at. So please make sure and do that. But I'm going to ask your leaders also to go through those opening questions. Just feel free to go through those opening questions together. And if you're on here right now and you're like, we haven't done the opening questions, pause it right now. Okay. Well, again, welcome back to another week, and we're glad you're here. A little snow on the ground. We actually got our Christmas tree today while I'm filming this, and we're getting near to Christmas. And I thought, what better thing to do than to start talking a little bit about Christmas as we get going, and it's about a specific person we're going to talk about during this Christmas as we get ready. My kids and Susan are decorating, and we're all decorating and getting ready for Christmas today. And when you think of Christmas, one thing you probably think a lot about is the nativity scene, right? You think about the nativity scene, think about the different elements that are in the nativity scene, right? You got Joseph, and you got Mary, and you got Jesus. You usually have the shepherds around, maybe a few donkeys and cows and sheep. The angel, the wise men, right? Usually that's what a nativity scene kind of has in it. And it really doesn't matter how elaborate your scene is, whether it's full of a bunch of different elements to your nativity scene, or if it's just the basics. And the basics usually are what? It's usually three, right? It's Mary, Joseph, and Jesus in the manger, right? But unfortunately, when we think of Mary, unfortunately, that's what we only think about. We only think about Mary giving birth to Jesus and being kind of sitting next to the manger. And when we do that, we miss out on a whole backstory filled with unexpected events, adventure, and courage. So you've hopefully read already from Luke 1:26 through 45, but when we first meet Mary in the book of Luke, the angel Gabriel visits her, and the story is already a little crazy. Remember, it has been 400 years, right? If you look at the Old Testament to the New Testament, it's been about 400 years since Israel last had a prophet in the midst of all of them. And here Mary is, standing before an angel. And she's standing before this angel, and merely just seeing Gabriel would have been wild enough. But then he tells Mary that she will have a child, and he will be the Messiah she had heard about so much about, the Son of God. At this moment, Mary has several reasons to freak out. First, that's an angel in her living room. Wouldn't you freak out? Second, she will be an unmarried and pregnant woman, and no one's going to believe that explanation. Oh, sure, an angel visited you. That's what made you pregnant. Sure. Third, the angel is talking about fulfilling the promises she's always heard in the synagogue, and apparently God wanted to use her. This is mind-boggling. Like, this is just crazy. Think about this. All of this stuff is happening to Mary. And with every reason in the world to put on the brakes and to freak out and to doubt, Mary says in verse 38, she says, "Behold, I am the servant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." Let me say that again. "Behold, I am a servant of the Lord. Let it be to me according to your word." This crazy scene, the stuff that is being asked of her is just crazy. And she says, if it's to be, let it be. Mary receives mission from the Lord, submits to what is asked of her, and believes what God promises to do. The entire Christmas story, even the entire story of Jesus' ministry on earth, starts with Mary's belief. For Mary and for us, belief means that we trust God's promises are true, and we keep ourselves ready and willing to follow wherever he calls, no matter how unbelievable it is. Mary did this unbelievable thing because she trusted that God had a plan for her life. And the same is true for us. So if you're going to answer the small group questions, you can do that now. Or again, you can do those at the end, but this would be the time to ask the first discussion questions. Else we'll do those at the end. So you can pause the video now. Okay. Few things can be as exhilarating as skiing down a mountain. Have any of you done it? I have. I haven't done it in a long time, but I've done it. No matter how skilled you are, when you're gliding over the snow and through trees, you end up at the bottom of a slope and you're a little giddy, like, whoa, what a rush. And in that moment, you probably aren't thinking of the fact that if you had wiped out, you could have been in some serious pain. You're too busy focusing on how awesome it was. I want to tell you just a short story about that, actually. First time I went skiing, I've only gone skiing, I think, 2 or 3 times in my life. It was up at Crystal Mountain. It was when I was in high school, actually. We went on a ski trip with our youth group, and it was the first time I'd ever been skiing. And I went down one, like, bunny hill, and I'm like, I got this. No problem. I got this. And my buddies and I decided to go down a black diamond right after that first hill. And it was crazy. I'm sure it's right in the front at Crystal Mountain, like right by the shelter and everything like that. But you'd go down it, and then there was like a little lip, and then you'd go down the rest of the way. And me and my buddy Phil went halfway down the mountain, and we stopped, and we're like, woo, that was awesome. Like, that was so much fun. We did great. And all of a sudden, my buddy Ross comes flying down the mountain, just like, shoo, flying down the mountain, doesn't stop at that little lip, and just keeps flying right down the mountain. He gets to the bottom, he's yelling, I can't stop. We're like, turn, and he's not turning. Anyway, he gets down to the mountain. It was like a scene from a movie. There's a woman taking a picture of her little son skiing for the first time, and he flies right between them, and snow just flies everywhere. It was hilarious. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Danger is an inherent part of the adventure of skiing. But people tend to encounter this danger in 2 critically different ways. When a skier is slipping without control downhill, the typical reaction is to lean back in an attempt to control the fall. But the thing is, this actually gives you less control and more speed. Leaning back seems like a good idea, but it's the worst way to go down a slope. This is why ski instructors spend so much time coaching their students on the right posture, leaning forward. Even on the steepest slope, a skier's body should be perpendicular to the ground. When you lean forward, you are ready, you are able to ski where you need to, and you are trusting your training and skis to take you the rest of the way and take care of the rest. You are embracing the adventure. The right posture means everything. When we see Mary in this passage, we don't see her doubting and grasping for control. We see a woman who believes, who is ready, and who is willing. Just as Mary receives a mission from the Lord, we also have a job to do. For some of us, we have a clear idea of something specific we know we need to pursue. You're like, I know this is where God's calling me to go. I got to do this. Others of us may not have that feeling at the moment, but we all have a call to believe and to follow and to obey God, just as Mary did. So the question is this: are you ready? Just as leaning forward opens up the thrill of skiing freely, belief is the posture that unlocks the adventure of following Jesus on the mission he has called you to. Be ready. Be ready. What is God calling you to? Maybe you're like, I don't know, Josh. I'm a freshman in high school. I have no idea. Or maybe you're a senior in high school and you're going, Josh, I don't know what I'm doing next year. It's okay. But be ready. Be ready for that calling that God has on your life. Maybe he's already called you to something and you're like, I don't want to do it. And so you're leaning back and you're like, I don't want to do it. But he's asking you to move forward, to lean into what he has called you to do. So be ready for that. All right. You're now going to spend some time in your discussion questions. And then following that, you're going to do a game together, hopefully. It's going to involve a jump rope if your leaders do what it says in the notes. But if not, you're free to do something else as well. But the main thing that we're just trying to get across is think about Mary. During this Christmas season, we think about Mary. We think about Joseph. We think about this incredible thing that's happening. But remember, the reason it was so incredible is that they were willing to be used by God in the way that he had called them to. Have a great week, and we will see you at the Christmas party in 2 weeks. Have a good day.